got a bigmouth bass. Hot bait today. Liking that. Tackle bait today. Hey, welcome to Angling Acumen. And today we're going to be doing a product profile segment. And the product that we're going to be featuring is one of my favorite spinnerbait options for the part of the world where I live. And that's the Northland Tackle Reed-Runner. Now, the Northland Tackle Reed-Runner comes in a variety of weights and a number of blade configurations, including single blade, tandem blade, Colorado blades, willow leaf blades, and in a really broad selection of color offerings. Now, probably the main feature that'll jump right out on the Northland Tackle Reed-Runner compared to most other spinner baits that you'll notice is it has a twisted eye on it. By far, the majority of spinner baits in the market today have the traditional R-bend. And for this part of the world, the twisted eye spinnerbaits are really popular, and for a number of reasons. A lot of fishermen in this part of the world are multi-species anglers. You know, some people are specialists, but a lot of people fish for a variety of species, including myself. And that's what the twisted eye comes in handy. Number one, if you're pursuing pike or you're just going to be troubled by pike, bite-offs can be a reality. And so if you're using some kind of a fluorocarbon or wire leader, the twisted eye, you know, tends to pair up with that much better. You know, trying to use a wire leader on an R-bend type spinner bait, you're going to have to do something to keep that thing from sliding all over the place. You're either have to tie that R-bend, put a split ring over it before you attach it, you know, or something like that. Another option too is right here. I'm using a Norman speed clip, which I like for a lot of my fishing up here, for changing baits. It makes it, you know, really easy. And there's a variety of reasons for that. Let's just say you're in a fly-in trip in Canada, which a lot of people in this part of the world do. You're limited on how much gear you can bring, so you can have a dedicated rod for every tackle. So you're switching from one bait to the other, and then the snap makes that, you know, a lot easier to do. And even for me, if I'm just even trying different spinnerbait configurations instead of, you know, cutting and retying all the time, just that nice little Norman speed clip makes that just an easy task. In my part of the world, we're primarily natural lakes. Yeah, we do have some reservoirs, or flowages as they call them in Wisconsin, but a lot of natural lakes and a lot of weeds. And this spinnerbait just seems to be built for that. It just goes through the weeds really well. I love the design of the head on it, and it just really seems to be made for going through vegetation, whether it's, you know, broadleaf cabbage or even emergent weeds like reeds or anything like that. And it just seems to go through that kind of cover really nice without picking up a lot of stuff. But probably one of the best features about this bait that I like is it just, for whatever reason, compared to some other spinner baits I've used, it just truly has multi-species appeal. And, you know, obviously it's, you know, it's going to be used for bass. Spinner baits are often, you know, just associated with bass. But just in last week, for example, this particular bait has been on a multi-species tear. I've caught largemouth on it, northern pike on it, nothing unusual about that. I've caught crappie on it, and, you know, it's pretty something when, you know, when a crappie is attacking a full-size bass spinnerbait. I've caught muskie on it, and then even just today, I've caught multiple walleyes on this spinnerbait. And a lot of people shake their head. They don't associate spinnerbaits with walleyes, but in the right situations, the right fisheries, spinnerbaits can actually be a viable option for walleyes. All right, time to catch some fish. What do we got here? Bass. get another. What do we got here? We got ourselves another walleye on the spinnerbait. This one might even be live well fought. Could have been. Colorado blade combination. Again, we got a motor family Caesar here. There we go. Power bait trailer on it. And boy, they're just really hitting it. It's almost odd now. It almost feels odd to catch a bass on the spinnerbait because we're having so much success with the walleyes on the spinnerbait. It almost seems odd when we get a bass. But nothing odd about you hitting a spinnerbait. All right. Oh. Bill Dance has had the right idea for years, sitting down while he fishes. Fortunately, it took me this many years of my life to learn that. Bill knew what he's doing. That's a nice bass. All right. That's a good one. Oh, he wasn't getting away. Wow. Right in that hard spot in the snout. Wow. Good one. A good one. Birds Award used to say. Geez. I'm trying to adjust the trolling motor. Got interrupted by a bass. Oh! It's a big mouth bass. Tell you what, they are liking the Northland Tackle Spinnerbait today. Come here. There we go. They're dialed in. Wow. Wow. Glad I'm not using a trailer hook today because we do not need it. I mean, there are days when you can't hardly catch a fish without the trailer hook, but that's not today. They are committing. Now, some of you may have seen in some of my other videos, it's no secret that when fishing is particularly tough, one of my go-to techniques is trolling with a spinnerbait. Especially if you're trying to get a few fish in the live well for shore lunch, like maybe pick up a few northerns. And those of you that are scoffing or shaking your heads at eating northerns, you don't know what you're talking about. My friends have done a number of taste tests actually where they compare northern pike with walleye and other species of fish, and it's amazing how often northern pike prevail. Northern pike are a great fish for the table. So, you know, if you're not utilizing northern for eating, you're missing out on something. But trolling with the spinnerbait is one of my go-to techniques for that, and these baits just troll really well. You can troll them on a short line, a long line, surprisingly shallow water. You know, you can adjust your weight and blade configuration depending on the water depth and the amount of cover you're in, and just a really slick bait for doing that. There's a live well-worthy northern. Sure like that Northland Reed-Runner. That is just a great bait in this part of the world.